So no shadow mechanologist.
I can't say.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of the Sickcast, aka the Siblings in Cardboard podcast. I'm your host, Donnie, joined by my buddies / co-hosts, Noah and Thomas. Whether you're a veteran card gamer or a first-timer just testing the waters, we are all siblings in cardboard. Guys, how have things been since the last time we talked?
Well, I mean, they just spoiled the coolest hero ever. This literally just happened. I mean, we're in the middle of the Master Set Madness box break. It's pre-release season all over the place. But
recording on Monday night, a little bit early this week.
Yeah. Pretty light on Flesh and Blood for me. I just did one armory. We played around with the Blitz format and made myself a dash deck, getting ready for the mechanologist. And it went well. Lost, got beat by Sebastian again. It was close though. I just had to block him out one more turn. He was on chain real good.
Sebastian's chain is real good. I mean, turns out he's kind of a good player.
Yeah,
especially when it comes to Shadow Runeblade guys.
He's becoming my nemesis. He keeps putting me at 2-1. Even if he doesn't end up being the one who 3-0s, he's the one that puts me at 2-1.
Yeah, that used to be my job, but yeah, we haven't actually. I don't think we've played in a while.
Yeah, we haven't. No, I've had to play. I think basically Noah and Sebastian both times.
I mean, you did. You beat me last week. You beat my chain.
That was the third game, right?
No, I played Chris in the third round.
Oh anyway. Yeah, I played second. Yeah, anyway. That's right. Anyway, yeah, and then we were all together at this particular blitz, so that's a good recap of what our Friday was. And what we're doing is we're just trying to play more accessible formats. We had a streak of only classic constructed. So this week was blitz.
What about you, Noah?
I enjoyed the blitz format on Friday. I was forced to play Dory. I say, I will mix it up a little bit. We won't be so rigid on the Dory blitz train. I just didn't want to mess.
Procrastinated into Dory.
That's what it really was.
Yeah, we'll put it that way. There's a lot of procrastination that goes. There's a lot of tearing apart for that deck, but no, it was fun. Obviously, I was at the same armory as you guys, but I played Chris in round 1 on Vincent, and it was a blowout of a game. I started out with a Nourishing Emptiness on turn 1, and he had to break his Spellbound Crapers to block it. So when you do that, you're already in the driver's seat, and I basically was able to just disrespect the 14 damage or whatever he tried to throw at me, or 12 or at one point, and I just said, sure, take it, and I just killed him on that turn. So then I played Fatigue Yoji, which I just, for some reason, didn't let it sink in as to what the game plan was, because I was like, it's blitz. I was like, we're on a pretty strict time clock, so I was like, just swing into him, And then about halfway through, I was like, you probably should have just been swinging 3 the entire game and passing, and it came back to bite me. I was like, you don't have enough red cards right now to put pressure.
Sorry to interrupt. Really quick, move your mouse. I could see it on your camera, just hovering right over your nose.
I got it. I blocked with 2 blue overpowers off the rip, which are my only 2 blue overpowers in Blitz, and I instantly was like, what are you doing? I was like, you're gonna need those blue overpowers for late game. And so as soon as I did that, and about halfway through, and I was like, oh, he's gained 13 life. I was like, okay. I was like, this is a problem now. But it was fun. I'm not too upset about it. It is fun to play the Blitz format. It is a little bit more accessible. What's also great about that is if newer players do show up, we could just relegate to pre-cons and stuff. It's really easy to just pick one up and put everybody on an even playing field and still have some fun without any type of outside investment. So it was pretty cool.
I think with our player makeup, Yoji's actually like the deck to beat, because a lot of us are playing really kind of like hot and heavy, get in there, get easily fatigued decks. So 2 chains, a Vincent, and a dash. So we're all very fatiguable.
Yeah. I should have been able to beat it.
He won that armory.
Didn't do it. That's my fault. I don't play against fatigue that often though.
Yeah, my only strategy is to play induction chamber instead, and hopefully I could gun him down. But I don't even know if it's possible. I look forward to the matchup if I get a chance to do it, especially with some new cards.
Yeah, new things coming. Last Tuesday, I played Vincent and got wrecked like normal. Don't remember anything specific about the matches. Friday, well, you guys know, I played Chain for the very first time ever, round into Fatigue Yoji in round
deck.
1. It was not pretty whatsoever. It just, I don't know. I've been on a pretty good losing streak here lately. It's been rough. And then at the end of the night, there's a newer guy that's doing the prizing, and he acted like he didn't want to do the pity pack, and that really bothered me there for a minute. But fortunately, some white knight showed up and told him what was up.
I saw it on your face, man. He's a weirder guy. He's a little brash. He doesn't mean it. I don't think it's his forte. He's the magic guy, and they kind of just stick it on him because everybody leaves. And I feel like they need somebody that is more in tune to the game.
But he did say that he might be interested if he gets a chance in playing in the pre-release. So he thinks the game is cool, and it would be cool to have more employees playing it.
Yeah.
He's told me that a couple of times. I know what you're talking about, though. He is a little tough around the edges. Even sometimes when I like request certain boxes or like do, I can feel it. But I wasn't gonna let him do the pity pack thing because like I feel like I know it's supposed to be pack per win or I don't know, but I've always thought it's supposed to be a pack per win.
But we've always done the pity pack. I've been going there every Friday since last December, and it's literally always been a pity pack
per win, minimum of 1.
Yeah, that's how I've always seen it as myself, and so I was. And
if your LGS isn't giving you a pack per win, minimum of 1,
you need to talk to him.
Yeah, and some only do the pity pack, which is also still fine.
I mean, there's other price structures that I've seen that I've kind of been interested in trying out, especially if we're leaning towards the more casual formats, like everybody pays their entry fee and gets 2 packs, and that's the prizing for the night plus the promos. That would be fine. But yeah, I drive an hour down there, lose 3 games, and then walk away with nothing.
Prime time is 1 pack.
That's a pretty miserable experience. Yeah, I'm just talking about what my Friday night almost was.
Yeah.
I think it should be maybe 2, but I mean it's okay. It's whatever. All right. We should move on. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to jump into our market minute. Obviously, the market should be pretty volatile leading into a new set. So what do you have for us, Noah?
I want you guys to know that I could have told you that every single, and I still will, every single Marvel Dragon has gone up. That's no surprise. Go find a Vince Sakurai right now on TCG Player. You can't. They're all $45 right now because they've been bought out. I wouldn't buy them right now. I'm just saying they've been
a little less than double.
That's twice as much as double because they've been about 15, 16. They've been on the low side. They're up. Chromai's up above 40 right now. Yenderai's up. They are all trending upward, and I think it's because people snap bought them, and it has not taken time for people to register. But Chromai for sure has nestled itself up there close to the 40s, and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere soon. I actually found an Uvia on eBay for $20, and I was like, well, I better grab it because I looked at all the Uvias on TCG and they're trending upwards of 30. And so I was like, what is going on? The Mai, sadly, still not doing a whole lot.
Interesting, because the Mai is like one of the best dragons for the Dromai matchup. You need that card.
Yeah, I just feel like the Mai is kind of
it's got the durabilities. The Mai is really strong against Dromai, like really strong. Dromai, Yenderai, and obviously Asvalai.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I just don't know why Vince Sakurai would suddenly get. I just feel like everybody wants to start playing. There's gonna be here's what it is. Okay, hot take. A lot of Lexis are eventually not gonna be able to play Lexi, right? I feel like you go to the next one of the next top performing decks, and I feel like Dromai is still a very top performing deck. And so I think a lot of the Lexi players are competitive, because if you're competitive, you're going to play one of the top meta decks. We have no idea what Mech's going to bring to the table, but if you're somebody who's on old principles, you're going to go, especially if you've played it, you're going to go back to a strong deck, and Dromai is showing great
and
promise.
Vinsecra might be going up because of the expansion slot card, the tome.
Yeah.
And that's because like as part of an aggro package, you can kind of just throw the Vinsecra in there, and if you have a tome, he's easy to play. You don't have to get that blue card that you're kind of relying on.
A lot of people pointed toward Tomultai, and it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, that was kind of surprising. I found a whole bunch of other things, and I just was like looking up dragons for fun. Surgical Extraction actually went up. It was one of the top cards selling this week due to training data. That Fate for Scene, Crown of Dominion, I still want to say, is selling like hotcakes. T-Bone Red specifically, Fate for Scene Red specifically.
T-Bone Red. I mean, T-Bone is a really, really good card. Like,
it is,
and it's better than a lot of the equipment destruction we're seeing printed in Bright Lights.
And there's a lot of equipment coming out, and there's a lot of mech versus mech hate that will need that type of equipment. Equipment hate. Like it makes sense.
Yeah, the hype is gonna want it.
Yeah.
Surgical Extraction was definitely a weird one for me, and it's not like the craziest jump, but you got to understand it plummeted completely when DTD came out, and it got reprinted finally, and everybody got to get their hands on it downward to $6, and it's now healthily above 9 and 10. And so that's actually quite a big climb for just a normal.
The only thing I could think of is Azuri's speculation with the already dead card being released. I joke and say that it's maybe hoping that Regicide will become playable, because a lot more people are going to be running Crown with their Dromais, and you could just Regicide the Dromai and move on with your one win to the next Dromai.
Well, but Regicide's a
Arachne specialization.
Yeah.
Right, but if you're to be fair, if there's a bunch of Dromais who've built their deck around running Royal, and you bring Arachne, and you can actually hit him with Regicide.
I do like the Already Dead, as well as because it banishes a defending card, and we'll talk about it later, but somebody is technically a defending card. Yeah, we will talk about it.
I'm sorry to disrupt the stream, but Master Set Madness just got a Final Spring Tunic.
Nice.
Yeah, and he opened the unreleased Guardian expansion slot.
Ooh.
Tectonic Rift. It's blue. I think it's block 3. X create X seismic surge tokens. Go again.
That's pretty good.
I wasn't going to interrupt for the Tectonic Rift, but at the tunic, it popped up on my face, so I wanted to have context, because I have a little tiny screen. Impossible to miss the tunic, man. Your eyes, nowhere where it's at, you see a tunic.
I mean, the first 2 boxes cracked pulling a tunic. That's a good sign.
Dude,
that is a really good sign.
And he's gotten 2 expansion slots. So I guess we could get right into Bright Lights. So one of the things that everyone's super concerned about is
hold on a second, Thomas.
Okay,
hold on a second. No, it wasn't done.
Oh yeah, sure.
What else you got, man?
I'm so excited no, I know. I'm excited for the tunic, because we picked 5 cards to talk about, and I wanted to pick tunic just for making people able to play the game. But
that's great.
One more thing I did want to talk about, just real quick on the market minute, because I talked last time about Teclocore. The higher end ones going down. Those lower end unlimiteds are actually going up. Those lower end unlimited Teclo cores are now inching closer to the first ed normals. They are getting to the $15-16 marks, up from the 9.
Wow.
Yes, they are soaring. I'm telling you. That's guys,
crazy.
This isn't me just telling you to go buy them because I have them all on TCG Player. I don't have any of them on there. I'm letting you know that they are trending upwards, because whether or not people want to wait for cold foils, if you want to test the deck out, if you want to play it, people are going to go for the most accessible, and it's going up.
How the Spark of Genius is doing?
I did check Spark. High Octane has gone up soundfully on the the normal unlimiteds, they are healthily above 10. They were around 6 or 7, and so they have raised up about $3. That has as well. And if you're trying to look for cold foil hyperdrivers, give it up right now. They are $30+ a piece right now. Whether I didn't even know they existed.
I have one blue one.
Until I've opened so much Dynasty, and I still can't get more than one apparently. But crazy cool stuff, guys. I know if you like your blingy stuff, you might want to start looking into it now because it's gonna get so hard.
Or you should have looked into it like 4 weeks ago.
A little bit ago. But that's it for the market minute, and hopefully next week we'll have some more crazy stuff with some of the preliminary Bright Lights cards being opened up, and we'll see kind of how the market's taking that initial nibble.
I do have a market segue question of the tunic. Has the tunic price gone down?
It's weird you said that, and actually, I think it was not Crown. Now that you're saying that, it was Findle Spring Tunic. That was the 4th most bought card, and I believe that's because a lot of people are dumping their crews and their lower end ones just to get it out. So I feel like that's what it is. I haven't checked since I talked about it last time, but Tunic was trending downward in every single category, except for obviously
but they're moving
some
a lot,
editions.
right?
But they are moving a lot.
It's interesting.
Which is sort of cool, because usually if Tunic's being bought, that's kind of indicative of newer life, because it usually if you're in the game, you already have it, right?
Yeah, if you're invested in the game, you've got a tunic.
And so the only thing I can think of is it's crew neck people that want the foil upgrading. There's that as well, perhaps. But it is interesting to see that Findle Spring Tunic has been selling like hotcakes. It's actually they're right here. They're out of stock.
Wow, tunic is out of stock. That's actually that's
no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I was going to say that's crazy.
Filters. We're good, but they're still trending downward. They're down to 159 right now for foils, and they've only plummeted. I mean, they were 180 last time we talked.
Not that crazy.
They're still going
I remember
up.
when I was lamenting that I didn't buy one when they're in the 140s, and then they went up. Oh,
well, the crews are in the 140s.
Are you kidding? I think he just got the fable.
No way.
Yeah, he did.
Ooh.
No way.
Oh.
That's crazy. When this is pitched, you may put a steam counter on an item you control with crank.
I already knew it.
And it's yellow.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, that had to be yellow.
It has to be yellow.
Blue,
yeah.
Yeah.
Blue is saying master. It's called Master Cog. Dude, this dude's box is cracked. This is one box that he got the fable and a tunic.
With crank, with crank is great too. I'm glad that got spoiled, because we're gonna talk about it later, but it makes Dash how old Dash is getting nothing basically. Well, I think old Dash by extension
Old Dash
is gonna get plenty of pieces.
Yeah,
like I agree. We'll leave it to the Brodies and the Michael things, but I know everybody's going, bonkers over the new stuff, and I know there's some old Dashes going, what about
with
this?
that reveal of Master Cog, by the way, that makes it way easier for Max to set up Construct Nitro Mechanoid, right? He doesn't have to do silly things to get that first hyperdriver to not get destroyed. That means with a pitch of Master Cog, you can get all 3 hyperdrivers out with nothing special. You just need to pitch Master Cog once and put your first hyperdriver back. So you can have 0 hyperdrivers in your deck and very easily construct Nitro with Max. Interesting. I mean, it's a legendary one of, so I don't know if you'd want to build your deck around that.
Fable,
but
so. Yeah, no.
Well, and you just throw it. You just throw it in. I think for Max it's fine, and we're going to talk about. I think for Dash.io it's totally fine too. She is still going to utilize plenty of items with Crank and get the extra action points out of it. She's a lot of those 0-1 items with Crank. She can easily just throw out there.
How dangerous is a playable Fable though? That kind of scares me.
Wait, what's playable? Oh, how dangerous is playable? Yeah. I mean, it's going to be it might end up as expensive as like I have Ophidia, and
And hard.
and hard
If
to
it turns out
find.
that it's really good for the new mech heroes, which it kind of looks like it is, that's kind of scary.
It's the upside's always there, right? Because you're pitching it to do the resource, so you're
It doesn't block,
automatically-
and it is yellow.
Well, yeah, but no fabled blocks technically.
Right.
But and it's still, I mean, it's still utilized. But like getting the ability to pitch, add the steam counter to an item with crank seems pretty good, because those crank items, most of those items just will be destroyed if they don't have a counter on it, and so giving them an extra counter is actually crazy.
On a lot of stuff.
This will be a fable I'll probably have to pick up, because the combo decks are going to need, right? The combo decks, this makes your combo way more consistent if you get a chance to pitch it.
Absolutely. This is going to be a big combo piece.
Right.
And I think a lot of these mech heroes are going to be working off of these combo centric kind of play styles, at least in one turn when you're going for it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great.
I can't believe this dude cracked cold foil fable.
I knew it was going to be a steam counter.
Cold foil too?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's cold foil.
Cold foil?
Pretty sure it's cold foil.
Wow.
I have it really small, so it's hard to see. That's why I had to like lean in to read it. That's
Why
crazy.
did Light of Soul get that good?
Right.
I mean,
why don't we jump
Light
into
of
the main
Soul
topic
is
now?
really specific, just like this one. Okay. Are we good to move into
We're
the rest of spoiler season? Okay.
We're in it.
We survived the absolute onslaught of spoilers that was this past weekend. It's now Monday. Being totally distracted by these box breaks that are coming out to kind of cap off the spoiler season. The cards that haven't been spoiled yet were in this, like Dromai's Ash for Chromai. We saw the Tectonic one for Guardian. We saw the Fable, which did they know that they sent out a box that had a Fable in it? Like,
I always suspect them of seeding those boxes, but
it's like spoiled instantly. Like, we know what the Fable is immediately.
It's in spoiler season, so I felt like it was pretty fair for that to
like maybe
to
they have
happen.
a stack of boxes so that it's fair that everyone they send out a box break to, at least one of them has the Fable in it. So, but they randomize it so it's fair.
I like that though. Either
someday
way,
we'll find out.
It sells the hype though. I'll tell you that much. It does.
Yeah.
It does get you going about those boxes.
I'm not sure. I think the Fable was in the expansion slot, so that box also came out at 3. And three per box seems fantastic.
The expansion slot, my guess, is going to hold. I don't know where the I wouldn't even be surprised if the legendaries usually end up somewhere down there. In that,
do you think Teklevossen might end up there?
The only reason I say that is because in Uprising, a lot of the equipment and cold foils end up way in the back, and like all the rares are in the front, and all of a sudden you just end up and like you're like, whoa, there's a cold foil, whatever, crown flame scale furnace. And so it's kind of weird how they seed the packs. But if you're already going like around the expansion slot, it just makes it that much sweeter for your expansion slot to have the potential Fable, or as we're going to talk about, the Marvel of a rarity we don't know yet.
All right, so keeping in mind spoiler season, let's talk about like our top card. What was the stuff we're most excited about? We think will have the most impact. How about Donnie? You go first.
Sure. Let's see. The very first card that I think is going to have the most impact on the format going forward. Tell me if you guys are surprised by this. I think Boom Grenade is going to have one of the biggest impacts on CC.
I had it on my list. It was the one where I was literally going, where is it? It's when Thomas was like earlier today, I'm not sure what Dash I, and I read at Dash IO and I read it, and then I said, well, all these items came out. And then I saw Boom Grenade, and I see all these other cards like TikTok that just say, well, destroy this and 2 other items. So some of these items you're going to nix the steam counters off of anyway with Crank, and they're going to die next turn. So why not just sack them now and get the... Dash IO to me feels like a flood with items, blow them up, and throw them in your face kind of it, and really abusing the galvanize and scrap mechanic. And we're going to, I actually think Dash IO is going to be.
Oh, I don't see this card as a dash card. I see this as a max card.
Yeah,
Really?
it could be a
It's
possible.
stacking on an extra 4 damage to any attack that you boost, and it's not damage that can be blocked. You have to fully block. This is like Plunder Run on a stick.
It's not even just an attack that you boost. It's any attack action card. So it could be chain enders and stuff. Not the weapon, but it could be chain enders and stuff too. So I think this card is really powerful.
This is a bomb.
The synchronization,
literally
a bomb.
with this card and galvanize, right? If you destroy it with galvanize, does it count? Like
it's gone.
It's a trigger
before it hits.
So this where this is really good is it's +4 damage, but it also fuels scrap cards.
Yes.
So you get your 4 damage and you get stuff into the graveyard that allows you to scrap.
Just scraps, yeah.
Yeah, I could see myself playing a rainbow of these cards. I mean, because it is just, you literally have to block every attack in order to not take this damage, or you're just giving the max, or you're giving the dash just that free value. I mean, this card is crazy.
It's good.
It is crazy good.
It's a 0 for 4, so it's up there on the power level of red 0 to 60, right? It eats your action point unless you're max, which you can recover it. You could, but it's also, you can use it as a 0 for 4 later for a bigger, wider turn the next turn. And if you play a lot of mechanologists, you do that a lot. You say, I have this red 0 to 60 in my hand. Do I play it this turn? No, of course not. You throw that bad boy in Arsenal, and then that's going to make your high octane or your max V you draw that much better to play.
I just see. Sorry.
Yeah, the crank is optional, right? You don't have to crank it. If you want to play it, get your action point back immediately and attack that turn, you can. But you could also play at the end of a chain, drop it down, and then they have to go, oh man, I gotta block out next turn, or I'm gonna take 4 extra damage.
Oh, or play one and then play another one the next turn and crank that one.
Yeah,
so you've got 2 sitting and just hanging over your opponent's head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I definitely think this card is going to be great.
Like, you feel bad if you don't get the hit, but
yeah. But then they've blocked out for their whole hand anyway, and you've got tempo.
That's why I was like really liking this card with Dash. I just feel like you can instant it off the top card of your deck, take the crank and put it and get yourself the action point back, and then just start your chain. I mean, you could boost and then just finish off by throwing a big attack, and then you just break it anyway. I don't know. I'm kind of eyeing this Dash IO item centric playstyle. Whether or not it ever becomes the way that she's going to end up playing, it seems like a way.
Dash.io humbled me.
I'm kind of concerned that Dash.io may be the prism of the set with all of the 0 blocks that she has in there. That's my concern with Dash.io.
Yeah, and 36 health.
Or
yeah,
she's the sleeper.
Yeah,
that's also possible. We don't know yet. I mean, somebody smarter than me is going to have to come up with a build that's going to work. So
right. Like I feel like she has 36 for a very good reason. That she has I think the ability to do this at any given point in time is really
good if you want to draw. You can go to match. You can go to time on every match. I'm going to look at my card. Okay.
There are a lot of amazing 0 and 1 cost items in this set, and there are a lot of ways to put items from your hand on top of your deck, as Dash as well, and gain resources with some of the cards.
Card number 2, Donnie.
The second card that I think is going to have a big impact is going to be Twin Drive. For anybody that hasn't seen this one yet, 2 cost, 5 attack, 3 defense, boost. Mechanologist card.
The double boost.
Which it doesn't stack up action points. You're not going to get 2 action points from the boost, but it does count for boosting twice for something like, I don't know, maximum velocity. Something that cares about how many times you've boosted in a turn.
So with Teklo Foundry Heart, a blue, and a 0-cost boost card, you could play Max V from a raw 4-card hand with no prep.
It's
You
18 points of damage.
Yep, you could do
That's what it
Twin
is.
Drive, boost. You have one floating. You do a 0 to 60 for 4. So now you've dealt 9. You've attacked for 9. Then you could use Tekla Foundry Heart to go up to 2, and then you can Max V for 10. So 19 points of damage off of a 4-card hand, which is
Max Nitro is
fantastic.
gonna be scary, guys.
Tekla Foundry Heart's still
The
good.
Beast Dash is going to be scary.
That chest is still good. Can you imagine getting hit with that turn 2?
Ooh.
19, no combo. They don't lose anything for doing it. Nothing. It costs them nothing.
Yeah, just draw the max velocity and draw the twin.
You just
twin
need
drive
you just
and the
need
boost
Twin
card
Drive and
blue.
Max V in the same hand,
Ooh.
and then like that just makes it where you could just very securely arsenal every single Max V you draw.
Yeah.
Normally you're like a little
next-
scared. Okay, yeah. Next card.
Sorry. I'm just trying to keep us moving.
Yep.
The next card on my list was Fabricate. I think this one's going to be another one that's going to be really good. You choose to equip a base equipment with Proto in its name from your inventory. Evo permanents you control get +1 defense, or put this under an Evo permanent you control, or you may banish an Evo card from your hand. If you do, draw a card. I think Tekla Vassen's gonna love this card. I mean, clearly, that's him in the art, isn't it? That's like a old render of him.
Yeah, I think so. Kind of an evil or looking version.
Something for him. Yeah, and it costs 0, so it doesn't block or anything, but no instance block. But yeah, this is the art of war of this set. In an all mech set like this is the art of war.
So it doesn't block, but if you have like 3 Evos out that are fresh, it does block. Like it makes you block for a lot. You could also I mean his new hero form is also an Evo. So
yeah, that's the next thing on my list is Singularity, is a card that I'm thinking is going to have a huge impact. I think I'm going to go ahead and give this hot take now. I think Tekla Vassen is going to be the next Oldham for Classic Constructed. I definitely see him having the defensive tools and the big butt package to stall games out until he sets up the way he wants to. The new Shadow Mech hero is freaking sweet.
the
looking.
Necropotent.
Tekla Vassen, the Necropotent.
So cool.
Oh, that thing was awesome.
And I lost my mind when I saw it, dude. Oh, dude, so cool. Even if it's not good, the flavor is just perfect. The fact that it's a shadow mechanologist is hilarious. Because he literally got asked that on Pro Tour if there's going to be a shadow mechanologist class. Why don't mechanologists get a talent? Yeah. Well, you don't get to play those fun shadow cards, but he is shadowy.
He start as a shadow, so I don't think you're going to be allowed to play the shadow cards. Like, you're not going to be able to play Tekla Vassen with Carrion Husk, but it's cool that they're getting the shadow.
I think it's because the soul flavor, right? Every card, every hero that has a possibility of ending up with a soul has either been shadow or light.
Yeah, I think there's
I agree.
lore implications there that I am very, very interested in finding out.
There's some interesting interactions, like Levia's Soul Harvest immediately deletes all the cards under him, and makes him lose life for it too.
Yeah.
Has to hit though.
They do set this up as well for some type of a later because they've already hinted there's going to be another Shadow and Light kind of a set. They also hint this for like maybe a Tekla Vassen kind of consumed in a sense where he does start as Shadow later on. And so I love it. I love how it keeps the whole thing open. But the card is absolutely beautiful. 2, it's going to be game changing if you can get it out and still have quite a good healthy life pool. That's going to be your game plan, as Donnie said. I definitely think your Tekla Vassen, when everybody said the meta is going to go really fast, I was like, well, there's going to be somebody to slow it down, and it's going to be one of these mech heroes. It has to be. And so it confirms it that he is going to start giving his body up to become more machine-like and more rigid as the game goes on. And it is so amazing that that's the flavor. And I feel like if you have a good defensive package and you have the right mindset, that's what your game plan is going to be. This sort of laid back setup, but you're still outputting some weird kind of pressure at the same time. I think it's going to be a very nice deck. I think it'll take a little bit of time for them to tweak to find the right balance. I don't think it's going to be something that just spells itself out with all these cards. Sure. But I do feel like you are 100% correct that Tekla-Vossen, once he's solidified, will definitely be that wall where he'll say, you want to go fast, but hold on.
Slow it down a little bit, buddy.
He's channeling the spirit of that Tree Frog Dash. This is the, like, they kind of like took Dash and split her into all her different archetypes. Yeah. And Tekla-Vossen is the blocks a lot, Tree Frog, build the gun, shoot the gun. Except you're a giant god robot.
He's going to be the pitch deck hero of the set.
Oh, so, yeah, definitely second cycle. Definitely pitching those later big annihilation Evo cards.
People who don't know what the payoff is, I think it's really important to know what the payoff of playing the Tekla-Vossen card. If you actually manage to do the full 4 Evo Steel Soul, when you play the Tekla-Vossen, you get your action points back. It doubles up on all the Evo Steel Soul stuff. You end up with 2 action points. You end up with 5 intellect for the turn. You get 6 resources back, so you get all your resources back for playing Singularity. And then what was the last one? You get to take 2 cards from your discard pile and put them at the 5th slot of your deck, meaning you're going to have 2 of those giant red haymakers for your first turn after and your second turn after, because you'll draw 5 and then you'll draw 5 again, so you'll hit those 2 cards one at a time.
Dude's gonna be crazy.
So his ability, I don't know if we didn't read off his ability.
We haven't read it out yet.
Okay.
We haven't read Singularity or the new hero yet.
Yeah, so if you're just listening, his ability is an action, pay 3, banish 2 cards from your soul, attack. And we're pretty sure all the cards are just going to go under his soul. Singularity kind of spelled that out, even though there's some text missing. When this attacks a hero, they discard a card, period. Not on hit. When this attacks, they discard a card. Your Mechanologist card actions go again. So all of those big cards you're swinging all have go again. And it says specifically on the card, this counts as 4 Evos equipped. So your cards get that full benefit. And he's a 6 attack, 6 defense, battle-worn piece of equipment.
He is shatterable.
3 intellect. Yeah, he is shatterable. He is like spinning wheel kick or whatever it's called. He could be already... Roundhouse. Yeah, cycling roundhouse. He could be already deaded.
Oof. That's going to be scary, because if he dies, if he gets broken, you lose the game immediately.
You lose the game. Yep. If there is not another effect on the stack that can resolve and put a hero back into your hero slot, you immediately lose the game. That is the ruling. He can also be soul harvested. We said that earlier. You can rip all his soul out, and then he loses his ability to attack. The downside is it does have 3 intellect. So you
worth the trade.
Yeah, it's worth the trade, and you do go to 5 intellect that first turn after you play him if you have the headpiece, the Evo Steel Soul headpiece equipped.
Right. You'll transform. You'll get that 5 intellect. That next turn you'll draw 5, and you'll have the
one thing we
turn.
don't know is his health. We assume it's going to be the health that you transformed on, but it hasn't been explained yet. It's just a little asterisk.
Yeah.
Could be health equal to the amount of cards under it as well, which...
Oh, no, because you'd only end up with like 6 or 7.
10. No, 10.
Like 6 or 7
Minimum
life.
10.
Minimum 10?
Minimum 10. Two for each piece of gear.
Position.
2 for each piece of gear. His hero, and then his gun. Because you have the bases, you have the Evos, and then you have gun plus him.
There's
a minimum
also
10
Evo bases that are bases.
It could be more, because Fabricate makes it more, because Fabricate can go under, which does make it sound like it could be that's his health pool a little bit.
The reason I say that is because you're going to be taking a lot of damage, and so the give should be, oh my god, I'm at 1 or 2 life. I finally completed my grand design. I should be able to get some. If the whole thing is you get there and you're at 2 life, yay, you know what I mean? You get 1 turn with it.
No, you're going to delete their hand the first turn you do it.
Oh yeah,
and you're probably going to delete their hand, because you're going to delete their hand the second turn you do it, because you're going to have 5 cards and you know what one of the cards is going to be. The funny thing is, though, is if he doesn't get a life reset and you do go to 2, it's just absolutely hilarious to me that you can get shunted or reckless swing or something.
I have I have a feeling that it might say something like that. That to me would be a really good way of giving you something back for taking all that damage. Although it might be kind of strong, but we'll see.
I think this card is bad against wizards. Yeah, we can move on, but I think Teklavoson's going to have a rough time against
back
wizards.
to him, but just to get it out there, the last card on my list, and last card on my 5 is Tome of Imperial Flame. Everybody knows that this is a great Dromai card. No surprises there. I think it's going to be one of the top 5 most impactful cards coming out of Bright Lights. That is my prediction. But
Totally
what
agree.
do you guys think?
Totally agree. It was the first card on my list.
I was going to say, let me go. You hit 4 of the 5 that I had picked. I had Boom Grenade, Twin Drive, Fabricate, Tome of Imperial Flame. The last one that I picked was already dead for the reason of you are going to be shoving a lot of equipment that you want in front of things as mech. And I feel Uzuri is going to slide right in as another very disruptive deck. Might have a bad matchup in a Dromai. That's fine. There's going to be a lot of mechs, a lot of items, a lot of cards to banish that will be defending. These shreds are going to get great value. It's going to be, you're going to have to be kind of careful. You can get those evos back, but you throw your Teklovossen in front of it and you're saying, well, I got to block this. And you get
to say, Omaewa Shinderu.
Yeah. Like, I'm just saying, like Uzuri is waiting right there in the shadows. And I feel like Already Dead is literally a constant reminder of, did you forget? Like here I am. And so I am really sold on Already Dead to kind of keep mech, not like in check, but keep them honest about what they're doing. I'm just going to throw my...
What's funny is Uzuri is one of those few heroes that could maybe connect with a game-ending attack, even though she's getting super hand-taxed.
Yeah,
she only takes her 3 cards. You could throw out the stealth, you could flip to Already Dead, and then you could shred.
Really, really good hero at doing the 2-card card exchange and playing on the back foot. Uzuri can do very well with a good swap in, rob tempo, and so I like it.
All right, Noah, let's talk about your 1 card that wasn't on Donnie's list.
That was it.
Oh, is it already dead?
It was already dead. Everything else seriously was Tome of Imperial, Fabricate, Twin Drive, and Boom Grenade. I mean, those cards are nuts for various reasons that we have stated. For the same reason, I feel like Already Dead increases Uzuri's stock. Tome of Imperial Flame does the same thing to Dromai, which Dromai's going to be a tough one for mechs, but that's a discussion for later.
Is she though? I
feel
like Max is going to be able to handle her pretty well.
Max, but I'm talking about Tekla wants to do his thing, but those dragons got another story, and Tomotai just comes up. What's to say?
I mean, Tomotai is not terribly scary to mech. Like, you don't really mind losing most of your gear. Even the Tekla Foundry Heart, it hurts a lot, but it doesn't shut down any of your game plan. Like, I played a lot of mech. The times my Foundry Heart got killed, I'm just like, whatever, I'm moving on. I mean, he just committed an entire turn. Now, it's different with Tome of Imperial Flame, but
it might be different with the new Evo stuff too. I mean, if you lose that whole equipment slot, you have nothing to put in there, right?
You could fabricate. And I think if your game plan is simply flipping Teklavosson, Fabricate's in your deck, because you don't want to be like the Construct Nitro Mechanoid deck where like your one game plan gets turned off and you just immediately lose because you don't really have anything else the deck is built around.
It does take your clock back though, right? Like, it does set you back a little bit. And I just feel like Dromai is going to be a way of keeping constant pressure with dragons, but still having a way of like slightly inconveniencing.
So, Tomotai can't hit the ones that don't have defense.
Correct.
And it's not really reasonable to expect she can hit the blue ones either. It'll be the other ones that she can do. And as an instant
once, then yeah.
Block, you would need to block twice, right? No, once. You can also save it, right? I'm pretty sure there's we'd have to look at interactions, but you could technically play one on top of, if you've blocked once, you play another one, put it back to 3, then it goes -2. Because he can play stuff as an instant. So
it's not. No one said Earth Strike. That clock is all I'm saying. It's something you don't want to necessarily deal with on your game plan that you're going to have to deal with. And plus, I just think of board flooding. And do you want to do an honorable mention since Donnie sniped 4 of your cards? No, you're fine. They're all great cards. Sure. You know what? I'll do an honorable mention. I think Steel Street Enforcement's an amazing Mechanologist block card. I think that even if you're just throwing on some of the base Evo equipment, 2-3, you've already got yourself now a blue pitching 4-block card on 3. You've got it on 5 if you got the full Evo set.
6
that is
with some items.
6 with some items. That is a zero for 6 that can block pretty much whatever. I mean, yeah, it's the only thing it blocks, but it's blue.
It's a pitch early and absolutely changed the game late. Even if you're not flipping, you have 4 Evos out. That card just says tempo swing.
What do we just talk about? How are you gonna you're gonna need to live? You're gonna need to live in late game. It's just extra life later on when it really matters. I love it. I love the card.
I think it's a cool card. Okay. As for me, Donnie sniped 3 of mine.
See?
Oh, we're all going to pick. Okay, so we already knew we're all going to pick Singularity. That card is like, it's like if we talked about the impact of Dusk Till Dawn, we would all pick Leviathan Redeemed, right?
Yes.
Like that card changes the rules of Flesh and Blood. It broke Talishar for forever. Singularity is riding that wave of demi heroes, right? These are new rules, new ways of playing Flesh and Blood. So Singularity is huge. It's like you feel like you're actually creating Exodia and you work for it rather than just like kind of randomly draw it, right? So it is Exodia Dash, right? Like you feel like you are Exodia. You're just the Shadow Demigod. But I chose Twin Drive as well. I don't know how good it is. It's underrate. 2 for 5 is underrate. But double boost is very interesting. It allows you to potentially hit like a sink below and keep going kind of thing. And also max V on a 4-card hand. Crazy. Like the amount of action points you can get. I want to talk about Twin Drive because I think another interesting card that maybe Twin Drive helps with is Grinding Gears. So Grinding Gears is a 0-cost blue, comes in with the 1 steam counter, has the crank, and it says 0 action. Destroy the top card of target player's deck. So there's another kind of shift in Flesh and Blood paradigm. It's existed in a way with Assassins, right? With contract cards. But now Mechanologist has a way of saying, I'm milling you too. So
it's great that it says destroy too.
It's not a once per turn action either. You can just do it over and over again. So you can use like a Twin Drive with high octane, generate like 7 or 8 action points, and just go mill 8. It doesn't cost resources. Is it going to be good? Hard to tell. It doesn't deal damage. It's a non-block card. It uses your action point if you don't crank it.
I mean, with something like System Reset, you can make a combo deck out of that.
Now, let's talk about the one card that I'm surprised neither of you mentioned, and this because this card is potentially absolutely bonkers, and that's System Reset.
Okay.
Okay. So
that was going to be my honorable mention.
It is really, really easy to overlook it because it just seems so kind of basic.
Oh, no.
But pay X, banish X Mechanologist items you control with cost of 0 and then return them to the arena under their owner's control. That means they come back with all of the Steam counters they're supposed to have.
Yep.
That means that every single one of them that has the word crank on them can be cranked.
It gets a reset.
Yep.
If you have like 3 or 4 hyperdrivers out, it just explodes.
Also, there are a lot of cards and items that, you know, when they come into when this enters the arena, do this. Cards get +1, cards get -1. You could be considering some kind of a system reset, blow them up, bring them back. Now I've got that again for this entire turn. I mean, I'm looking at penetration script comes in, your action cards get +1. Action cards get -1 while defending. Polarity reversal.
Riding Gear goes back to an extra point on it and is crank, so it synergizes with the system reset for your like mill ton of cards off the top.
You can bring Stasis Sail back.
You can reset Teklo Core, put it back up to 2 counters, so you even get back Teklo Core, so you get your 2 resources.
Or is
Teklo Pounder is 2.
Teklo Pounder is 2.
You can reset the monocle. It has 5 steam counters on it. You can reset it all the way back up to 5. I don't know if that's good, but you do get 5 steam counters from it. Yeah, you can. So I think system reset, if I think if Dash IO is going to be good, I think she's going to try to probably do some giant system reset turn.
Speaking of which, I'm just reading the. Well, I guess we're going to go over the spoilers later when we get to it. But I was just looking at Stasis Cell, and it's an item that you can system reset when this enters or leaves the arena. Activated abilities of target equipment can't be activated until the end of its controller's next turn. That means Tekla Vossen can't attack.
That's hilarious.
He isn't they could put him in the Mech v Mech hate in this set is actually remarkable.
Yeah,
and it had to be. It had to be obvious.
Hey! Let's not talk about that because maybe I wanted to play Tekla Vossen. I don't want all these dashes coming in and just turning me off for like nothing. This item costs 0.
It's a 0 blue. It's good.
All right, well, let me go ahead and warn you. I've been brewing with Katsu, and my list started out with three meeps and 2 smashing good times. So just fair warning.
Hold on. Tekla Vossen is not an item.
Thankfully.
Right.
That
was the worry that you can just meep and steal Tekla.
They won't make it that easy. Shattering over it or buckling over it or anything like that over it feels more rewarding than just getting Kyloria'd and
or meeped.
Or meeped.
Man, if I could steal it with a meep, that would be so great. But nah.
And then I think the part that we talked about that's on my list that's going to have the hugest impact is on both of your lists. That's Tome of Imperial. Dromai is already fantastic. And Redline Dromai is already incredibly challenging to do. And the redder her deck gets, the better it gets. So she's able to pull blues out of her deck that are under rate, but she needed to occasionally make her deck work. She no longer needs that anymore. Throw in 3 Tome of Imperial Flame. Pop off. Have tons of Ash. In fact, we might even see the aggro Dromai fade away a little bit because the big thing about aggro Dromai is you ran it because it's so efficient on Ash. It generates just so much Ash, where Tome of Imperial Flame might solve that. So you might see a merge a little bit of closer to Big Dragon away from Redline, because now you could play these Vinsecrai super easy. Play these Tolmatai super easy, and you just have Ash for days.
I could see a hybrid list coming out, but don't forget before the Redline Empress list came out, there was a Royal Dromai list that was doing well at events. So Dragon can also use the crown.
Golden Coin is good.
I think Empress is going to be the way it's going to go.
Yeah, Golden Coin is super good. It gives everything Dromai wants. She gets an Ash. She gets to draw cards.
Yeah. Yep, just good stuff.
Okay. What else came out recently about Bright Lights? I think we talked about some of the big cards. I literally watched the Fable get ripped live, and we got to comment on that. Who do we think is the best of the 3 heroes in CC and the best of the 3 heroes in Limited?
Max and Max.
Max and Max?
Yep. I think it's going to be Max and Max.
I think it's Max and Tekla. Max in CC is the simplest to look at and say this hero is probably really good in CC. It's just Dash, but better. And then
that's my Uncle brain.
And then I think Tekla Vossen's gonna be the best in Limited, because I think in general people are gonna come in and be like, I want to boost, and I'm gonna go, yeah, you boost, I'm gonna block, and you're gonna mill. And then
I want to be different. I'm gonna say Dash IO is gonna be fantastic in CC. And I will say that I think Max is going to be fantastic in Blitz. I think the ability for him, for Max to be able to just crank out the fast-pacedness of Blitz, and just the ability to crank these attacks out and literally create hyperdrivers and destroy them, or get and abuse, galvanize, and scrap. I mean, I think it's going to be fantastic. Extra action points, you're swinging the weapons, a 1 for 3.
I don't think there's much of a chance that this set is going to have as low an impact as the last couple of sets have had Classic constructed. I mean, Tekla Vossen and Max are for sure going to have an impact. I'm just not 100% sure if Dash is. I'm concerned she's going to be the Prism. But
Yeah.
it's
And I mentioned
I
earlier
hope
I was
I'm wrong.
completely
I hope I'm
humbled
wrong.
by her card list that she would want to maybe play and her hero power. I think that in limited picking Dash.io is just saying you want to go 0-3. Like
I mean, we'll see.
Man. Now I'm playing Dash.io pre-release.
you're
There's
giving up
nothing anybody
you're
can do
giving up
about.
2 health for a hero power that probably won't have time to manifest value.
Are you sure about that? I could play them on your turn too. I can play them on your turn 0.
But they don't do anything. Like
They will on my turn.
I'm just saying, like,
Maybe.
if you look at what Max
Bring
has
up a lot.
access to, extra action points on demand is really good. And if he ends up with like 2 red hyperdrivers in his deck, the turns he gets to play the red hyperdrivers are enormous and limited.
Yeah.
He
Crazy.
does end up with extra, but many of the items that have crank are 0 and 1 that Dash.io can abuse as well, and she can abuse them at instant speed at any time off top of her deck.
I'm just thinking about
Once
hyperdrivers.
per both turns.
Hyperdrivers in limited are good, and also getting action points is good.
She will have access to hyperdriver's a token in this set, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's reprinted. Yeah, it's reprinted. So, I mean, it's there. There's a reason she's at 36. Donnie might be right. You guys might be right.
There's a reason Riptide's at 39 or whatever, or 38.
It would make a little bit more sense for the original Dash to get a crazy amount of support and somehow LL before Dash database becomes, just to kind of have it would feel really weird if Dash.io and database just surged past the original Dash, but I don't know. Somewhere, somehow, somebody is going to concoct, I can just slam these 0-1 costs. All right, watch this. Just 0-1. And that's what I envision. It's so hard to see it now because all these cards are like, play fast, or hey, play for this combo. And Dash.io feels like, true to her flavor as well, I'm just going to make this up as we go along.
Yeah, that's true.
I love it.
It is. I'm just going to make this up.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it too. I'm a big Dash fan. I still think though that you're kind of asking to lose by having 18 health in this format, even though there's some more spoilers that's been coming up in the box breaks that LSS is saying we know the format's going to be fast, let's tone it down a little bit, because we've seen reprints of basically Throttle 2 for 6 go again, except it's just 2 for 5 go again. Zipper Hit 1 for 5 go again, it's 1 for 4 go again. 0 to 60, 0 for 4 go again is 0 for 3 going again. And 0 to 60, the reprints that's in Bright Lights is literally called 0 to 50. It's a 0 to 60. That's how you get a ticket.
I love the flavor
It's
in this
so
game, man.
funny. 0 to 50. All right. Now, unfortunately, for this episode, I think Bright Lights has completely overshadowed the other thing coming out on Friday that got fully spoiled this past week, and that's Round the Table. There was the live thing with the professor, which I unfortunately missed, but I heard it was
Wonderful.
fun.
It was great. A lot of it was tooting the professor's horn, but it was still interesting to hear how the product was developed and where everything started and how it went step by step. I mean, it was good content. It's definitely something that you should go back and listen to if you have time.
He's a cool dude. I can imagine him being like 70 years old and still doing this, and he's just like, he actually is an old man professor kind of guy.
He's in the middle ground. There's nothing about him. Some people you can tell, oh, he's just selling the product, but very rigid, very unbiased in some of his opinion. I've watched plenty of his sleeving, his deck box guides, all that he gives very unbiased reviews, all the testing. He's just somebody who's actually looking out for you. Hey, are you going to buy this? Let me see if the value's okay in that. Hey, are you maybe, and sometimes he's critical. And they did ask him about a question about the Round the Table and the UPF format, whether or not they thought it was going to be fresh enough to continue to build interest. And he said that it would be a challenge because you're going to have to keep changing it and making it dynamic without sort of shredding its original kind of feel, this ability to kind of just sit down and do this kind of UPF or this kind of fun sort of fun-filled experiment, but trying grow that and expand upon that without losing some of its core. And so, he was like, it's going to be a challenge. Did he say it was impossible? No, but he didn't just go, oh, I love it and it's going to be the best thing ever and it'll never, you know what I mean? Like, he actually said, hey, look, you're going to have to keep working on it. You're going to have to keep putting some effort into it and making sure that you're adding constant content to it, perhaps, and changes and keeping it fresh. And I think LSS is doing a great job at that. I mean, you put cards in there that are CC viable, you already generate interest regardless of what it is. And I think this is one of the best sets ever if you're trying to get into this game, because as everybody has stated, this is going to have an instant impact on the meta. And I think it was shaped that way because they wanted people to go, hey, get into the game, crack 3 packs, play. Do you like it? Well, one of these 3 heroes is probably going to be.
You can just buy product here, and you might have to go pick up some like history pack or something to get your zipper hits, but you could just roll with 0 to 50 at least for a little bit.
This product was absolutely genius in terms of, hey guys, how do we create 3 beautiful heroes? How do we make them all synergize together in limited play and make the absolute greatest sealed play? How do we get newer players in? And then to cap it all off, they say, well, if you want something a little bit more casual, but you still like the way the game plays, here's a whole UPF kind of round the table format where you get to sit around with friends and have a great time. I just knocked it out of the park. You couldn't ask for much more with this.
Right. Now, back to UPF. Which UPF hero are we playing on Friday?
Are we playing UPF on Friday?
I plan to try to get one in. Yeah, I really want to play.
So we're gonna rock paper scissors for Melody.
I was gonna say I
think you'll be surprised at what hero I want to play.
You're gonna play Teklevasan.
No.
You're gonna play
I want to play Brent. I want to play Brent. I want to guard and then bonk people.
Then I would like to play Teklevasan because I feel like I would always relegate myself to Ira. Because,
this works.
Because I really wanted to. I was going to say Ira because I thought you were going to play Teklo and he was going to play Melody. I was like, I don't really want to play the Guardian.
And I'm down for Ira too.
I'm excited about Melody. So yeah, this works out so well. We'll just grab some random stranger in the shop and say, hey,
you play Ira. You're probably the best deck in here.
Right?
Yeah. Give it. Ira's probably the best deck out of the 4.
It's also the most direct, and it's also the most straightforward. And I think
and all 3 of us could just try to slowly manipulate him. Right?
Well,
that's UPF. You're supposed to manipulate the person to your left and right.
You're supposed to keep them on your good side because I guess you don't want to get hit over and over again. But I got
all these guard cards. It's literally a 40 card deck, and I have 12 of them.
Somebody protect me. I am dainty.
Sing for me, Donnie.
Not on camera. Wait till we get to the shop on Friday. I'll sing you something.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Okay. Well, that's it for this week, I think, unless we have any final words or things we might have missed.
No, just same stuff, different week. Where can they find everybody?
I'll be on all social media platforms except for Twitter as Wet the System. Specifically on Twitter, I'm at System Wet.
Gotta make it complicated on Twitter, don't you?
I think it was gone, or I registered it years ago and couldn't get back control over it. It's not my fault. Don't blame me.
I say that now, but it's just because of my Tarkov name that it's Loot So Heavy. But that's where you can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Loot So Heavy. It's been WoW related. It's going to be Flesh and Blood related once we get back into the swing of things, though. I'm gonna have to start polishing up on really CC. The loot's heavy in this set too. This is, and then at Loot So Heavy as well on Twitter. It's Big Max on there and Big Max on Discord.
Yeah, are you guys going to be doing any more box breaks on stream? I know you did some for
I might save my case for stream. Sure, I think I can do that.
I will save the case. I think I will save some of it as well for some of the other content we had talked about. Doing the once a day kind of shorts. I will save a box to open 1 pack at a time. I'm okay about that. I can police myself on that. But I was teetering on the 3rd case. You guys sold me on it. I will buy a 3rd case, and I will use that 3rd case strictly for channel content, the crack shuffle plays, and the single pack per day kind of a thing, and maybe do some fun things. Yeah, pack 1 pick ones would be kind of neat too. And we could even do them live too. We can go Friday Armory, throw it down in front of everybody. Pack 1 pick 1, do a quick YouTube short with everybody.
I like that idea.
Pack 1 pick 1 is content we should definitely cover. another time.
But
It's
anyway,
going to be really good
moving
for
on.
this set.
Moving on, let's get out of here. You can find me as Draco Hominis 87 on literally everything. If you want to hit me up, my inbox is always open. If you have any interest in written content, look me up on fabric.gg as Donnie.k. I write the Fab Dad series, and I also do tournament coverage. Next month is when my next articles are going to come out. I've got my next Fab Dad series article already written and loaded. It's ready to be published. Then the next one that next tournament I'll be covering is the Calling in Dallas. But if there's nothing else, guys, you ready to close it out?
Yeah. Well, don't forget our Twitter is also at the Sick Crew.
Yep.
At
the
Sick
official
Crew,
podcast Twitter.
SICCREW.
At Sick Crew.
All right. So
We
thanks
put
for
some
joining
stuff
us,
on there.
everybody. We hope you enjoyed catching up with us this week. And if you did, we need your help. The best way you're going to help us is to leave a like and a comment. It makes a huge difference to channels like ours when you engage with what you see. If you don't want to miss out on future casts, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell on YouTube so you know exactly when to find us again next time. Until then, take care of yourself, and remember, we are all siblings in cardboard. Take care, everybody.
Discard your
See ya.
cards.